Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to hide the kids and pop the top on a cold one. Coming to you from the Riverbank studio in Nitro, West Virginia, please welcome the inebriated cast of Section 304.
Welcome to the Section 304 podcast where we're drinking beers and talking ears. I'm Jeremy Yost. I'm in the studio with John Crum, Matt Durrett. And it's, we're about a week out from football season, boys.
Yep.
College played last Saturday.
Yeah.
Austin Peay. But
It was
football.
Definitely nice to see it on the TV. A little bit, not all of it. I watched a lot
it.
of the third quarter.
I didn't watch it.
I was going to say, I watched the opening kickoff, and then I kind of flipped back.
Kid scored on the first play of the game, didn't he?
Yeah.
I knew it was on. I didn't watch it though. I forget what I was. I was probably playing fucking Call of Duty. But
You're sucked into the Call of Duty.
dude, I'm hooked. Hooked. Thinking about getting into e-gaming, getting a team. You guys want in? Put it together.
We'll see how football goes, maybe.
Be on TBS. Become.
When does the
superstars.
new station come out?
What new station?
The new
The new
PS.
PlayStation. I think it
Oh,
comes out
it's
next year.
no, it's just like October.
Oh, is it this year?
Yeah, it's like October, November. That and the Xbox, I think. But I stopped playing all that shit, and then I got sucked into this fucking Call of Duty Warzone. Dude, it's addictive.
I saw the preview for a new Call of Duty that is right up my alley.
Yeah,
The Cold War.
Yeah.
Some spy shit. Yeah.
Lay your books out on the table and play.
I was going to say, it is
Yeah.
him and Rat
The
Rogers.
Warzone thing's free. The Warzone's like a Fortnite, but it's Call of Duty style. And if you get like 2 or 3 people who you can play with, and then you wear the head. Look, dude, I'm doing all the shit I used to make fun of.
COVID's changed a man.
It really did. The 14 days of being locked is when this started for me. And I ran out of there's nothing on TV. I couldn't be around anybody. So what do? You have your brother drop your PlayStation off. You end up, somebody says, yo, jump on this Call of Duty Warzone. You see it's on the PlayStation. You play it. They're like, throw them headphones on. We can say, oh, okay. And now I'm that guy. I'm the dude sitting in my basement with the TV
Talking shit.
with my chair about 4 feet from the TV,
I've been there.
letting people know.
I've been there. I know what that's all about.
Yeah, it's like I just
12
fucking
hours.
wrecked you.
12 hours disappearing.
Just
like
trying
that.
to find out what gun. It's like you look down. It's like shit. It's got to be about lunch. Fuck, it's dinner time.
Well, speaking of real games, we had a scrimmage on Saturday.
We did have a scrimmage. I guess
It's,
he didn't
what-
seem as happy about this one.
What I read was a lot of give and take, but it did not sound good. And the numbers,
He said shit ton of penalties.
the running the ball, does not look. It was like the leading rusher for the second, third squad was Avera Sparrow with 3 carries for like 38 yards. And then,
That's good.
Letty had 4 carries for 40.
He had a big run, didn't he?
44,
Like a
right?
40-yarder.
39 yard.
It sounds like he's going to be the number one
He
guy.
should be. I've liked him since he was a freshman, and I think he hits the hole the hardest, and I think he also gives you a change of pace where he can be a power guy, but he can also be a shifty speed guy.
Right.
as
If he's got to truck you, he'll truck you. Or if he can
Yes.
slide past you, he's got the capability.
The worry for me is we're going to try to do that.
3-headed monster.
Yep, and that's never worked. 2-headed monster works. It worked for the Giants. It's worked for
it's worked for WVU.
It's worked for many squads, but when you start a try going 3, look what happened. To this day, I still think Martell Pettaway probably should have got more carries than he got.
Oh, I agree.
A lot of times,
with you.
he was the hot hand, and he, for whatever reason, didn't get it. We didn't go to him in the red zone a lot. And reading about the scrimmage, sounds like the red zone's a problem again.
Yeah, it's seeming.
Doesn't do you no good to get there and then get fucking
3 points.
Yep. Gotta punch it in.
That's how you lose games. Not converting those into touchdowns.
Yeah.
Well, didn't Casey Legg miss a couple field goals too? And so,
field goal kicking's never been strong.
It sounds like the defense is pretty far ahead of the offense at this point, which is traditionally the case in fall camp.
Right. And, I almost like that better anyway. Because anytime our offense gets talked up, we shit the bed. Really think about it. Anytime our offense has been talked up, they've come out and you've had these big expectations that it's going to be something great. And they do, or it seems like our offense does better when they just kind of get the mediocre and then they come out fired up and on fire.
A little under the radar.
Right.
You guys see the pick that Mayo kid had?
Oh, yeah.
Toe tapper.
No, I didn't
Right on
see
the
that.
side.
I saw that there was a walk-on from Morgantown who I think his name's Fox. Preston Fox, maybe?
Oh, yes.
He's tearing it up. He had a really nice catch. Garrett Green had a nice throw. You get little snippets from the scrimmage on the social media.
Yeah, and that's all you can look at.
Right.
Because
it's hard to get a feel.
Yeah, they don't let you in too much, and it's like last year when you were bitching they were putting those videos out of him grilling hot dogs. You can only get what they give you because
they can
coronavirus doesn't let you. Yeah, and they don't. I don't think they're letting a lot of media in.
The press conference after the game or after the scrimmage was all Zoom.
Yeah,
and it was more of asking Coach Brown, "Hey, what about XYZ?"
I think they're taking a lot of extra precautions with all this, which is fine. You do what you got to do to play, but reading about it, it does not sound like the offense is world beaters. And with that comes the problem of, okay, your defense is that far ahead, but are you going to strand them on the field and gas them?
Right. Well, and I think it also comes down to where they're talking about how they did the split camps. They were kind of splitting between the offense, defense, position this, position that, in order to maintain social distancing. And how cohesive can you really be? Especially
That's tough.
Especially
That's
on
real
offense.
tough.
That offensive continuity is huge.
Absolutely.
Defense you can kind of get away with a little bit because the secondary does their thing. The big guys up front do theirs, and linebackers and bandits do.
Yeah, so
do
much
theirs.
of offense is timing too.
Right.
And I'm concerned about the running game. It's one of those things that I will not get hyped up about until I see it improve before my eyes.
It hasn't been good since I don't want to say his name.
I knew you were going there.
It hasn't been good since
don't want to say his name either.
Yeah, the kid is now in jail. It hasn't been real good since he was there.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
Well, you were so top heavy with Will Grier. Like, of course, you were going to throw the ball 50 times a game with him
on average, yeah.
And that probably gave you the best chance to win. But we don't have a Will Grier, and
we might.
You think so? Who?
I like the freshman a lot.
Well, we're not going to run a Will Grier offense either. We're going to be more balanced.
That's fine. He has legs. And if this
he's a dual threat.
Right,
yeah.
right.
And everything he's getting a lot of hype. Now, granted, a lot of times they'll put that hype out there to inspire your first and second string guy to let them read the little nugs about the freshman. But this kid came in, he's 3-4 star dual threat. He's
out of Florida State's backyard.
Well,
he's yeah.
You kind of listen to Brown talk about him. He says, this was before they made the ruling that freshmen are getting a free year. He said that he was impressed with him. He likes what he's seeing out of him, the kid's work ethic. How
he was an early enrollee too,
right? And now, he said that will he play? He said no. He said he's not going to play. He said, I'm very impressed with him. But now it's a free year. Will he play? I lean on the answer to being yes.
It seemed like he was leaning towards Daggy not playing last year either, and then you saw what happened there.
Well, you got those 4 games where you can work it in, and Daggy, that was more, from what I remember, was a question of his health, not his skill.
Right.
And
But-
I think Garrett Green will get in junk time if we have big leads, but I don't see a lot of big leads
He
this
took
year.
reps with the second team Saturday. And he had two long touchdown drives Saturday in the scrimmage. They said, now granted, third team, but they said that the offense looked best when he was under center, and he had two very long touchdown drives and looked good. And then he got some run with the second team.
But if
So-
you watch Brown's offense at Troy, he liked working in option, like zone read, and
Well, but this kid has legs.
yes,
I mean, he was
that gives him
Kendall,
he was
Kendall
recruited.
Does not have legs.
Garrett Green and
Kendall runs
Seth
in cinder
Daggy.
blocks.
Green and Daggy were both recruited as mobile quarterbacks, dual threat quarterbacks. You know, Austin Kendall was a pocket passer, and I mean, and you see it because
Yeah.
even if he's got a scramble, he can't really.
No.
scramble.
In Daggy, I wouldn't say Daggy's a runner, more as a guy who can kind of escape the pocket
Yeah,
and,
extend
and get, run someone open, basically. He isn't going to run for like 60 yards a game, where Garrett Green, it sounds like you could design runs for him, and he could be effective.
Yeah.
Yeah, but would you say that this is the most quiet any type of QB battle's been?
Well, it's all quiet, and it's all everything's quiet from everywhere except for the guys who are withdrawing and not going to play this year, like Jamar Chase and some of those cats at LSU.
Right.
Pretty much everything else is quiet because you can't really get around it. Like it's all it's all kept close quarters because of the coronavirus and shit that's going on. So this is the most quiet for any preseason you're ever going to see, other than they're meeting, they're canceling, they're not canceling, they're playing, they're not going to play, they're going to have fans, they're not going to have fans. That's the kind of shit that you've been getting this year, as opposed to Trevor Lawrence looks X, Y, and Z, and this guy's good for Clemson. This is the Mountaineers have this, that, and the other. It's the only real thing that they had this offseason that they even put anything out of was the locker room.
Right.
I mean, you didn't really get a lot else, and that locker room is top notch. I mean, that thing
It's
is
beautiful.
tits, but you would have liked to have seen a little more. But you also have to look at they couldn't even come into camp normally.
Right.
So you know, like I said, man, it's great that they play, but if you win this, if and I'm not saying the Mountaineers are going to win a national, but whoever wins the national title, can
It's
you
an
really?
asterisk.
Can you really? It's like, can you really count it?
Yeah, you can. I mean, there
You can
used to
count
be
it, but it's
multiple
always gonna
national
be-
champions.
Right, and you can count it, but it's always going to be that was the year that the Big Ten and
didn't
Pac-12
play,
weren't
the
in it.
Pac-12
Yeah.
didn't play. But
Well, we'll see.
I just don't think it's. I don't think it. You can count it. You can hang your flag, do whatever you want, but it's not going to feel like an actual college football season.
Right.
And what are they going to do with the playoffs? I know they said they're going to have one for the teams playing this fall and all that, but you can't have – there's so many fucking bowl games. There's no way you can fill them all. Maybe this is a start of doing away with some of those. Let's get that Dollar General Bowl in fucking Mobile out of here. Nobody wants to watch that on December 23rd.
Well, and I think that's what – I think this is where you start seeing where you can do the at-large and then –
instead of the conference
Right.
tie-ins, that'd be cool. I wish they'd get away from some of that. I mean, it seems like we always get matched up with an ACC team, which
Well, and you play in a shit bowl.
And
Like,
you
who
play in
the
a shit
fuck
bowl.
wants to go to Orlando at the Camping World Bowl that's in the center of – it's in the shittiest part of Orlando. It's just a nasty, nasty stadium. It's not in any – there's nothing around. It's a dump. It's like, who the fuck wants – that's not a reward. And you're playing on like the 26th.
yeah.
Yeah, I got to leave and go down and miss Christmas. No thanks. To come here?
Yeah, I'm leaving Christmas Eve and spending
Yeah.
Christmas.
What are you going to take me over? Let me change a tire at fucking Disney's NASCAR-themed park or whatever it is they got going down there. It's like, no, thank you. Pass. It's like going to New York to play in a Pinstripe Bowl. Why the fuck do I want to play in a baseball stadium? Pass.
Yeah.
in
that's what-
December,
Yeah, and that's what Tavon and those guys did. They passed, got routed by Syracuse, jumped on a plane, flew back home that night.
started
even
started
practice.
working out right.
They didn't even practice up there. They practiced in the goddamn ballroom.
did
It's
walkthroughs.
snowy.
That team had checked out long before that game.
Do you blame
Yeah,
them?
but-
Are
No,
you
I
going to
don't
be
blame
hyped for
them.
that? Dude,
No,
the
absolutely
swag
not.
they got for that bowl was trash.
They didn't get like a pinstripe jersey or anything.
As a member of the media that went up to cover that, I got a unisex toboggan that was obviously for females, and they gave out the large T-shirts. Do I look like a man who fits a large? No. When I said that, the dude was like, "We got what we got. It's all you get." Wouldn't even let us tour Monument Park, and you know I'm a huge Yankee fan. They literally cut that stadium off. We could go in, ride an elevator, go into a media room. That was that. Didn't get to go to Monument Park. Didn't get to do shit.
Well, I think we're going to have a starting quarterback by the end of the week. They're going
Well-
to name it,
Well,
right?
it's going to be Daggy.
It's going to be Daggy. I think the question will be, how many snaps does Garrett Green get? Because it's going to be Daggy Kendall. I mean, I don't see them putting Garrett
You think they'll
as
run?
number 2.
You think Kendall will get a certain amount of snaps, though, or do you think it'll just be straight up Daggy?
I'd say right now. I mean, that opener against EKU.
Oh, yeah, he's going to play.
I'd say he'll play. He'll get some. He'll get some snaps because you don't know how you react until you're back in the game. All this is going to be all new. No fans, so no hype. I mean, I will say that I think you see Daggy 3/4 of the time.
That sounds about right. EKU plays Saturday. They play at Marshall.
Yeah.
That'll be interesting.
Well,
It's going to be. Have they announced the TV yet?
no, it's
No. Is it on ESPN?
Marshall's on
It
ESPN
will.
Saturday.
No, for our game.
We are going to be on ESPN, I believe. I saw
Probably
something,
ESPN Plus.
but they haven't. No, I don't think it's a plus game either because I think the contract states for a plus game that it has to be a conference game.
So they're going to have us and EKU on national television.
Well, there's not much else going to be playing.
I saw the ratings for
Or
the
maybe
college football
maybe it's
game
Fox.
versus the NBA.
Well,
It's not even close. College football drubbed. FCS college football drubbed the NBA. That's why you have all those shitty bowl games, because of TV. Those shitty bowl games do better ratings than college basketball or anything.
It also has to do with gambling. A lot of people,
gambling helps.
A lot of people like to lay lines and bet that shit. People bet in golf and UFC for the last 4 months, and then the NBA, MLB, and all that comes back. So you get that back, and now you get football. It starts to feel a little normal. You get the blood pumping. Throw some parlays in there, get it together. But no, I don't know, man. I mean, the NBA never draws great numbers television-wise, does it?
It depends on who's playing. I mean, when you have
I mean, I don't want to watch
those
some
Golden
fucking
State
Lakers.
Cleveland series were huge ratings.
Watch to see LeBron lose. The finals usually does really good numbers-wise,
Yeah.
but I think regular season NBA draws dick. I don't think it draws much.
Not
You
much.
you have an abundance of fans, like an allegiance of fans who are into that, and you have a lot of people who will turn it on and look at it and then turn it off, and that's what it is. And I don't know.
Well, all right, so Daggy's going to start. You guys got Daggy. I would
I-
say that.
I'd say so. Let me ask, who's the player you watch for? Who's one player right now
I
that
think
you're?
Garrett Green's in by midseason.
Do you really?
Yep.
As,
No
as
way.
a starter?
Yep.
No way. Unless there's injuries, no way.
We'll see, won't we?
No, I
think
mean-
about 4 games in, I don't think either of those other 2 quarterbacks are that fucking impressive. I said that last year. Didn't think either one of them were that impressive. Nagy had a couple games.
Right.
Still wasn't great. Not solving your problem.
That's true. You're right. Well, it'll be interesting. I mean, what if he goes out there and Garrett Green just blows up,
Well-
just plays extremely well?
Then you got him for another 4 years.
Yeah.
Because it's a free year.
I mean, I don't think that the two there now are Band-Aids. That's
Right.
what they were. That's what he was when he came in as
Yeah.
a transfer. It's a Band-Aid and a placeholder. Now you got this kid on campus early. Maybe he's a little bit ahead of the curve. I think by about 4 or 5 games in, I think he's gonna take over. Maybe it ends up somebody goes down, gets hurt, and he's put in there, and then
He takes over.
yeah,
I want
a la Pat White.
The
out of
guy I
Bednarik.
want to see is Tony Fields. No, I'm sorry. Tony Mathis.
Tony Mathis.
Yeah, I want to see him get a lot more burn. When he came out of high school, I really liked his offer sheet. I really liked the highlights I saw, the way he runs, and I like his size. He's taller. In what I saw from him last year at the end of the year, the little bit of game he did get to play, I liked. So I'm with you. I want 2 running backs. 3 seems like a crowd to me. And
3's too much because you end up spending too much fucking time worrying about splitting carries out. If you're going to do 3, then do what you say you're going to do. Go with the hot hand. Don't pull and don't. I'm going to give you a series, you a series, you a series. Then we're going to you a series, you a series,
I don't like
you a
that.
series. That's awful.
I think it should be situational, but I think it can take a running back a few plays. They need a few series to kind of get in the lather and get warmed up a little bit. And when you're constantly shuffling guys,
Well, on top of that, hopefully that there's a coach saying who's going in and you don't let them,
Other than that, other than Green, I think Ollie Jennings is going to have a big year. And then on the defensive side of the ball, I'm excited to see Treshaun Miller get in there and Jackie Matthews. Jackie Matthews is the JUCO guy we got that plays in the secondary. And Treshaun Miller was the kid we flipped from LSU who had the, I believe,
he looks good.
ankle or knee last year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then to see the
he's
kid.
tall.
He's
built like Rasul Douglas.
To see Cowan get out there will be fun too.
Oh,
and then obviously, I don't think anybody who would listen to this, if you don't know who Darius and Dante Stills are, just drop your fan cards to us in the mail and just go to Huntington on Saturday because the Stills brothers wreck shit.
So your defensive players were the same ones I had.
Yeah, I'm really excited for Miller.
I will say for offense, I was leaning towards Mathis. I was leaning towards Sam James. But I'm excited to see, with as much as Brown has talked about him, praise Ford Wheaton.
Okay.
It seems like, because, I mean, it never fails in a press conference. He brings up Wheaton. Wheaton did this. He's been doing this. He's been working here. It seems like every press conference his name is getting mentioned. So is he standing out that much? Are the other ones not standing, kind of laying back? Is he busting his ass a little bit more? Coaches talked him up. It doesn't seem like Brown's just going to willy-nilly talk somebody up.
No, I don't think he's one to heap praise when praise isn't due.
Right.
Those guys are all young too. I mean, they're soft. Some of them are probably still freshmen.
Well, Wheaton's a redshirt freshman. So, and you're getting that much buzz from the HC. Speaking of the HC, this year count against him? I know it counts against his contract.
What do you mean?
Last year. So last year
take
you
a
gave
break
him,
and then talk about that.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
All right, we'll be right back.
after this.
We'll be right back after this word.
Son of a bitch!
When your heating and cooling system needs service, turn to Francisco Heating and Air Conditioning. They've been delivering quality service in West Virginia since 1980. No matter the make or model, Francisco Heating and Cooling can make sure your unit is back in service in no time. And their work is guaranteed. Francisco Heating and Air Conditioning is fully licensed and insured and is a certified Trane dealer. And remember, it's hard to stop a Trane. Find them on Facebook or call 304-542-1895. Catch the Mountaineers in comfort with Francisco Heating and Air Conditioning.
What's up, Mountaineer Nation? This is Grant Wiley, and you're listening to Section 304 Podcast. Let's go, Mountaineers.
All right. Welcome back in part 2 of the Section 304 podcast on a Monday night.
Part 2?
Segment 2.
Segment 2.
I don't.
Reduh.
I just say welcome back.
Yeah.
Welcome back.
Yeah.
I can cut this out.
Welcome back. Nah, fuck it. Leave it in. I mean, who cares?
Okay.
Let it be.
Let it rock. Go.
Let it ride.
Let it roll.
Let it ride. Start it, Crum. Let's go. Coach Brown, you
What's
counting
your... Okay, lead in...
Coach Brown, you counting
I'm going to say
against him?
Coach Brown. I mean, do you count it against him? And when I say do you count it against him, so he comes in last year. So you give him that free year. It's not his players. It's not, it's a new offense. It's new this. You come up with a whole gambit of excuses for him. to back him,
Right.
and help him out a
Right.
little bit. But because he did immerse himself in the culture. He is doing this. He's doing everything right. Now, COVID hits. This year is free for the players, and we've already said, you're not burning the red shirt. You're not doing this. You're giving them a pass. Do you give Coach Brown a pass if he does
If we suck.
subpar to mediocre?
I would. He's not under any question. I don't have any questions about him right now.
What are you expecting this year that you think he's gonna like? What's your standard for this year? I'm at like 6 wins.
If we go,
I'm at like 6 wins.
if we go 4-6, I wouldn't be surprised. If we went 6-4, I wouldn't be surprised.
And I don't think anyone's doubting him. I don't think he has the people who dislike him the way the last guy did in year 2.
Well,
because
how do you feel about the direction of the program?
If you look at the recruiting class he's got coming for this year, it's a fucking monster.
Yeah. So
He's
how do you
killing
feel?
it.
How do you feel about the direction of the program?
I'm loving the direction. I'm loving
Yeah.
where
Yeah,
it's going.
I think most
Right.
people are pretty excited about. I mean, you've had the one situation that ended poorly that may have some people upset, but
I think everyone's gotten over that.
yeah. But I think as far as he goes, I don't see anybody trying to take anything away from him or being upset with what he's doing. I think the thing that you have to worry about is him overachieving and then somebody bigger coming and trying to pick him out.
That's a good problem to
That's-
have.
Yeah,
It's
especially.
a great fucking problem to
Yeah.
have, but
I know it's been said, though. I mean, if it's been rumored that Shane Lyons has said if Neil Brown leaves, it's not going to be because of money.
good.
Fair enough.
So he said that now with the contracts we have, what we've got coming in, money won't be an issue. We will be able to compete with. I mean, not if Bama or someone, if Alabama came in, you've seen what they can do. They can throw whatever they want at somebody if they want them bad enough. But for a majority of college football, I heard that Lyons has made the comment that we will be able to compete.
Compete financially. That's good.
So if, and I know everyone keeps saying Brown played at Kentucky, he started coaching. I don't think he goes, that's a lateral move from us.
That's a step back, in my opinion. Because
Well,
you
I'm
got to
just saying
play
the lateral
Georgia,
move as far
Florida,
as-
Tennessee's getting better.
When I say lateral move,
Yeah.
it's just you're in the SEC,
right.
but you're not getting a.
I don't. To answer your question, for me, I don't think anybody holds this against him if they were to have a sour season because the whole I think most people are ready to just say fuck 2020. Let's blow it off the map. It doesn't count. Let's
I agree.
restart at January 1.
Well, and because I'm thinking you're going to see they're going to take advantage of this rule with seeing these freshmen because it's not going to hurt you.
No, and
You're
you've
gonna
also
play to win
had
the game, but-
you didn't get your spring ball in because everybody's sent home.
This is
So-
kind of like spring ball to me.
Yeah, so
honestly.
it's almost like like they're saying the NBA feels like an AAU tournament and shit. This is almost like if football had travel teams. It's kind of what it feels like. You're getting like a spring ball feel, like an extra season type.
Like
feel.
this month is kind of like spring ball.
Yeah,
Right.
and you're not. I don't think you're getting a true picture at what they can do, but I still think he wins 5-6 games easy. And I think that's one of the things you can always count on. I don't ever look for him to fail or be underprepared like our last guy.
No,
Our last fucking guy was underprepared and couldn't switch anything at halftime. One of the worst coaches I've ever seen at making adjustments in my life. And
That was across the board, too.
right.
Because
Yeah,
our
and-
defense didn't adjust for shit against Oklahoma State.
And I just don't think you're ever going to see this guy get outworked. I don't see any Mountaineer fan hating it because I think he carries the same attitude and work ethic into life that most Mountaineer fans have to do. They're 9-to-5ers. I mean, it is what it
Yeah.
is. And I think he could go 2-8 and everybody's going to say, okay, well, fuck you. Wait till next year. Look at this class we got coming in.
Right,
Wait
and
till you
that's-
see this kid at quarterback. You get a little taste of what you got. And like Crum was
Yeah,
saying,
we're
young.
not going 2-8.
No, but I think if we did, nobody's going to give a shit.
Right.
I don't think anybody's going to bat an eye. and I
Unless
don't
we're just
think ticket
trash.
Sales are going to drop.
Yeah, unless we're just complete trash.
But there's no shot that happens.
We should have been 2-10 last year. I've said this 1,000 times, but the fact that we won 5 games last year was incredible. That was all, especially
That
at
was
the end of
coaching.
the year. It was coaching. It
Yeah.
was playing possession football and relying on your defense and special teams. which we really haven't done since. Well, we never really relied on special teams.
He's never going to be outworked. That's
No.
why when Dickhead left and we landed this guy, it's nationally known and recognized that West Virginia hit the lottery landing this guy as a coach. He was a very, very hot commodity, and thank God it finally worked out in our way one time. That we got the guy everybody wanted, and he lived up to what he's supposed to be.
Well, again, I mean, like we've said over and over, I mean, he's submerged himself in this culture. You know, I mean, he was taking his daughters to gymnastics meets, volleyball meets. Tell me the last time you saw the football coach at a gymnastics meet. You know,
I don't know.
I know.
Unless Stu did some of that stuff, I don't know.
Well, Stu might have.
Yeah, I don't know.
Nealon might have. You know, but you know, and then you get to hear that he's this family.
Nealon was not going to a fucking gymnastics.
I said
meet.
might
Shut the
have.
fuck up.
I said might have.
Fuck up. Don
But-
Nealon probably wasn't even going to basketball games.
But-
Motherfucker was-
They, you know, you hear that he's this family guy, and is it? You know, you heard the same thing about the other guy, and it turned out to be not so much. But you,
I don't care as long as you win. You can be a scumbag, and if you win, you're my guy.
fucking Coach K, huh?
I mean, if Dana would have won 11 games and won the Big 12, I would not care if he.
That's not going to
The
happen
fact
for
that
a
he-
fucking dickhead like
Yeah,
that.
I-
He's never prepared.
Right. And his whole approach to recruiting and player development just.
Lazy and JUCO.
Yep.
Lazy JUCO.
And this
patch
guy
the
looks
holes.
like he's developing talent. So
patching
that's
the
great.
holes and filling them with JUCO. That's all he was doing.
I think we can win 5 or 6 games. I wouldn't be surprised. I think we're going to sneak up on some people.
I mean, yeah,
We're not.
no.
We're not projected to win shit this year.
no.
No.
We're like what? Like
And he'll
ninth in the Big
overachieve.
12.
He'll overachieve like he
Absolutely.
did last year. That's what he does.
I mean, the team last year was a mess.
Well.
The defense wasn't that good. They played really good in some spots, but
We'll start 2-0.
no, we're not starting 2-0.
You
We
don't
play
think?
Oklahoma State the first conference
No,
game.
we don't. Is that
Yeah.
the first game?
yeah,
They'll
that's
kill
the,
us.
Oh, okay. Well, shit.
we'll play.
We might be
OKU.
5-1 though. If we were 5-1, would you be surprised? Pleasantly,
No.
yeah. I mean, but it's plausible.
It's-
It
I
is-
was thinking we had a cupcake in the second game, too.
Well, it's all
No.
screwed up with that new.
Yeah.
We were supposed to,
It's all fucked up.
but
we'll see. I mean, but to answer your question, no, I don't hold it against him. I don't have any doubts on where this program is going. We're going to win, and we're going to win the right way. We're going to develop talent the way you're supposed to develop it, and we're going to play smart football as opposed to trying to outscore everyone by 60 points.
Indeed.
yeah, I mean, I think we're going to start seeing a little bit. I mean, you watch him some of his old games against Troy, or for Troy against LSU and Nebraska, and he kept his composure. And this is it's been a long time since we've had a coach.
Actually, he almost cost Troy the game by
Well,
getting
by
a
that
sportsmanlike
person,
conduct penalty, but you live and learn.
But I'm just saying, overall, as a coach, he's kept his composure. And a kid screws up, he gets on him, and then he stands there and he coaches him.
Yeah.
You're starting to see that a little bit more, and you're starting to see, and that's what I attribute last season to. It was a coaching year.
Mm-hmm.
He coached these players. He taught them. And now we're starting to. I've got high expectations. I've got higher expectations for the freshmen he brought in.
This year?
Yes.
I got no problem with that.
I think you're going to see some freshmen play a lot.
Why not? You've got to see if this year doesn't
Well, they got to be
count.
ready to go.
Exactly.
Yeah,
If
but-
this year doesn't count and you know what's coming in behind you, why don't you play him and then find out if he's worth a damn?
Mm-hmm.
If he's not worth a damn, then you know who's coming up behind him. And then you look at the kid and say, hey, you'll be a sophomore. Here comes this freshman.
I like that they're not counting it because if you do have a wash year, fuck it, play them. Let them go.
Right.
Let them in. Let them go.
Yeah, I think at the end of 2018, it was pretty clear that we didn't want Dana Holgerson running our program anymore. Like the whole Greer, receivers, all those guys we had, that was our last ditch to try to win the Big 12. And as soon as that didn't happen, you were like, he's got to go. Like if this team couldn't do it, because he added the patchwork transfers, like the kid from USC, the lineman, and then the kid from Clemson, and we just sort of patched this thing together to make a run, and it didn't happen. Like it was never going to happen. Like he was never going to develop a team and develop players the way you have to do it to win the conference.
Nah.
No, but I will say Spencer Rattler starting at Oklahoma, we might take that game.
That's what I was thinking about. How ironic would it be if we beat Oklahoma? We have all these big crowds for them. We always fall flat on our face.
And we
they
beat them with no one
like
there.
12,000. We beat them.
Man. It's always toward the end of the game. That fucking
Shit, the year they had Baker Mayfield, that game was over 8 minutes into the game.
Yeah, we
well,
had the
that's
kickoff
fucking
return.
Hollywood.
And then,
But the year before that, when they were in Morgantown and we got beat by that receiver that had he had dyed his hair like blonde. And
Oh,
different
yeah.
spots. God, I about threw up in the stands, and I don't even think I was drinking. It's like, man, if we get beat by this guy, you could lose to anybody, but that dude, not that fucking guy. But it's brutal. But
yeah, the year with Hollywood, that was the year that AB was on the sideline in that big fur coat. And
yeah, well, now
That was 2 years ago, wasn't it?
now he's
Yeah.
at home in his big fur coat making music. That's not very good. Good for him.
Good for him.
Good life choices.
You think we finish the season? You think Kobe
Yes.
answers it?
Yeah,
Yes.
once you start it, you're not going to stop.
That's how I feel. And Bowlesby came out and said that. Okay, fine.
I also think that them giving the free year has a lot to do with the standards they put in of if you do test positive, you have to sit for 14 days, which is essentially 2 games.
2 games.
And I think
That's a good point.
I think you have to take that into account. If you're going to do it, you can't fuck them over if they're going to play. And if they test positive, make them miss 2 games, and then that in turn is like a quarter of the season or whatever. You can't do that to them.
So now I got to ask this: do you end up seeing injury reports and that type of stuff like in the NFL? Do you start seeing them having to submit some type of roster to the?
I'm sure they'll all have to be tested. And
They
I'm
will have to be tested, but I mean, do you think you have to submit a roster? Do you think they'll cut down on who's going to be on the sideline and who's been practicing?
I think when you travel, I think you're going to take probably some less guys. You'll probably leave some at home because you don't want to have all those people together on the plane. But I mean, who the fuck knows? I mean,
Right.
It is what it is. It's nobody knows how it's going to work. But
No, and they're
I
leaving
think,
it up to each
yeah.
conference to do their, and how many positive tests? Say if you've got
You have a
4
cluster.
positive, you've got 4 positive tests on your offense. Is the whole, do you have
might
to scrap
shut
the game?
Yeah,
do you,
might have to.
It is what it is, man. I mean, but people want this to be played so badly, and understandably so. You figure it out, make adjustments as it goes, and you say, fuck it. I mean, at the end of the day, like we were talking about when all this started, money's what makes the world go round, and they were going to lose a lot of money if they didn't play.
Right. Billions.
And that's just like, these other professional sports. You can, superstars can take the year off, but if you're
but your first year rookie
if
can't.
you're a mid-level guy, you can't afford to have that.
What's
bubble,
the average
that bubble
length of a
bust.
pro career in football? Probably 3 or 4 years.
3 or 4
maybe.
years.
Yeah, I mean, it
Basketball's
depends.
probably 2 or 3.
Yeah, it's not
Yeah, you
much.
gotta
but
make money while you can.
Basketball, you can go overseas and still get a bag,
That's true.
and it's a lot easier. As
Well,
you
you
can
were
tell
shitting
by-
on that last week.
No.
I was about to shit on it again before you jumped in there because I was going to tell you it's a lot easier to get that bag if you look at some of the guys that are signing to play and what they've done in college. I mean, there's a lot of dudes who had half-assed college careers, which props to them. None of us ever had a college career, so they're
Right.
better than us, and they beat my ass on a basketball court. But what I'm saying is guys who you look at as never have a chance to play pro in basketball, well, that's a lie. They can go overseas and become, shit. Flowers
Yeah.
was a good player. He's still balling overseas, and he's got a pretty good career going. Jawan State.
Shoot, didn't Flowers end up winning one championship and came home and they got called for another league to come play in their championship
France.
game?
It's look at Marbury reinvented himself. He's a
He's a god
icon
like
in
in China.
I mean, basketball
China.
has a lot more avenues. The CFL's in some trouble. They've shut their
They
season
canceled
down.
it.
I heard they're in some trouble. The
The
XFL's
Canadian
been
Football League.
Yeah, they canceled it. They
The
said nope.
XFL's been bought by The Rock, but we'll see what that turns into. That could turn into a he hate me situation again, where it's a sideshow football league. I don't know that The Rock would do that.
I don't
but
think he would. I don't
You
think
just-
he would.
No, but you got to find some way to generate money. And
Yeah, basketball, you got a lot more options to make money. Football, like you said,
because the
probably about 3
AFL,
years.
the AFL was there and it folded. I mean, there's never been nothing has sustained for like a farm league or minor league for football. It's either NFL, Canadian, or
Well,
nothing.
Anything that tries to compete against the NFL gets destroyed. Like the USFL, I don't know if you watched the 30 for 30 on that.
yeah.
They were good in the spring, but the minute they moved to fall, it was over. Like no one's going to watch that over the NFL. I think
Right.
there's a market for spring football.
There is a market
professional
for spring
spring football. Yeah.
Well, I mean, shit, you saw the beer snake they had at that Washington game.
Yes.
I mean, that's a lot of money being made right there on just selling them beers.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll see how it goes. I mean, it is what it is. But I don't to answer it in this segment, I don't think anybody holds this against Brown.
Hell no.
No, I'm excited for it.
The best is yet to come with
Right,
him.
and I really think, I mean, my full opinion is I really think we're really going to get to see the type of coach he is with, all bets off.
Yep.
I'm not losing anything by, throwing this freshman out here, moving this guy here. Let's experiment a little here.
Mm-hmm.
And I think ultimately it's going to generate into a great season next year because you've already got things figured out. You can work out your kinks in the whole season with nothing to lose.
Yeah, I think I just feel good about where things are going.
I
And when
agree.
you fire a coach, I think people want to fire a coach after one bad year, and that's ridiculous.
not.
It
You
takes
don't you don't
five.
yeah, you don't fire a coach until you
Year
have no
5, year
confidence.
6.
You have zero confidence in their ability to lead the program and
Unless
compete.
it's Willie Taggart.
Well, that was a really strange situation. But that's one of the worst hires ever.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely terrible. But
Well,
we'll see. I'm good if we win if we go 3-7, but we play well. I'm okay. I mean, if we win 6 games, I'll be happy. I don't have a whole lot of expectations this year.
sounds
I
good
think
to
we
me.
could be pretty good though.
I think so too. Well, let's take a break. We'll come back and wrap it up.
Pass, you run a mile. You miss a blocking assignment, you run a mile. You fumble the football, and I will break my foot off in your John Brown hind parts. And then you will run a mile. Perfection.
Welcome back in the Section 304 podcast. We're just going to wrap this up. We're going to talk about our new format of the show. One thing, Diddy's going to start doing some videos.
Yeah, we got to blast some shit out on YouTube or somewhere, Facebook, every now and again.
Yeah, by the way, we got a YouTube channel we're starting up. It is Section 304 podcast. It's already up there. No content yet, but we're going to get that for you.
Get this camera figured out. Start doing maybe a little gambling segment. Give you some lines. Give you what I think, and you can bet the other way because I do not have great luck. And then we'll just, maybe one segment a week. We'll put it on camera, put that shit out there for you guys, and let you into our humble recording area once a week or once every other week. We'll figure all that shit out. But we're going to do some new things, and hopefully everybody will enjoy it. And if you are an avid golfer, go check our boy out, Andrew Ford, out at Bogey's driving range. Is out by Big Ben golf course, man. Even if you don't golf, go out there, hit that barbecue. My man
He's got a serious smoker out there.
Got a serious smoker. He knows what he's doing in the barbecue game.
It's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Get them barbecue nachos and treat yourself to a bucket of balls, some nachos, and a cold drink.
Hit off grass.
Yes.
Can't do that very many places around here.
Yeah,
No, you can't.
So a lot of
That's why I go down there all the
A lot
time.
of you people who think your golf game is tight, hitting off them fucked up carpets, go out there and hit off grass, because I know you hitting off them carpets thinking you're bombing about 2 or 3 bills with the driver. You feel like Rory, and then you get to the course, stuff that tee in the ground, and you top that shit, and it ends up in the lake, and you wonder what happened. What happened is you're
Speaking
hitting
from
off
experience
turf.
over
You're
there.
goddamn right I am. That's why the only place I go is bogeys to hit my golf balls, son.
Man, I love it out there. Nice atmosphere.
It's really nice.
That's nice patio too.
Uh-huh.
So, and then
We're not
we've
just
got-
saying that because they're a sponsor.
No.
I'm out there all the time.
Nah,
before
he's
they
a
were a
very nice
sponsor. It was
setup.
beautiful.
Shit, if you kayak, he's got the beach cleared off down there. Take your kayaks out, pull up on him.
Oh, I forgot all about the
Yeah,
kayak
he's got the
down
beach.
there.
He's got the beach cleared up. Pull up on him. Call. They'll bring some food down to the river for you. He's doing it right. Go check him out. Our boy Ford out at Bogies, man. Hit him up. Check him out. Hit a bucket of balls. Get you something cold to drink. Get you some good food. Tell him that the Section 304 boys sent you his way.
And then we've got one more sponsor I'm waiting to hear back from. We'll see if it pans out, but it could be fun getting some bets in. So we'll see. But
Shit,
Locking those plays.
I'm gonna get them bets in anyway.
Are you?
Yeah.
Mounties are 1,000-1 to win the national title.
This
Little
national title don't
little
count
value
for me,
play.
fucker. I done told you that. I'm not counting this national title.
If we win it, you will count it.
I won't.
What?
I won't.
Oh, I will.
Oh my! Are you off your fucking meds? A
No.
national title,
Wouldn't count.
college football playoff, the trophy.
I wouldn't count it in basketball either.
Oh, my God.
Unless all teams play. I don't want the shit uneven playing field. You count that World Series when they came back
Well,
from the
hold
strike?
on. Before you say uneven playing field, the Pac-12 and Big Ten wouldn't even be there later anyway.
In basketball, they would.
Well, basketball. I'm talking about football.
Basketball is our best shot in the Natty this year.
Oh,
and in
I agree.
basketball, they would be there because Tom Izzo is there a lot.
Yeah.
Ain't
True.
nobody in fucking Beeline when he was at Michigan. He was there quite a bit too.
He
So
was.
You can't say that they're not there. Pac-12's not really there. Ain't nobody checking for them in basketball. But who
No one
gives a
checks on them
shit?
in football either. So
Yeah, ain't nobody checking for that since Reggie Bush was out there. My boy O.J. Mayo.
Your boy O.J. Mayo.
Yo, it's wrong what they did to him in the league, man. Just because they like to smoke a little grass. Now it's
the devil's lettuce.
that's what he got banned for. I'm pretty sure that maybe
No way.
it might have been some
He had to be on other stuff.
maybe I don't know. I'm not going to get into that.
I think he's the only guy in the NBA that smokes.
No, I
pot.
think they can smoke it legally now. I don't think it's even tested for anymore, which
I
is
don't think so
solid. I
either.
think the world should go to that. After being locked down and all this, you should be able to smoke a little Chiba if you want to.
Well, on that note,
Let's
Yeah,
get out of here,
let's
boys.
get
get
outta
out of here.
We'll see you next week.